3D People, The Way We Work is a podcast brought to you by Alexander Daniels Global, your recruitment partner in the additive manufacturing industry. My name is Julia Opria, and I'm your host in this podcast. I'm also the Director of Europe at AD Global. We are committed to helping this industry grow, and our contribution to the industry is talent. We talk to high potential professionals on a daily basis, and with this podcast, we want to bring to you their stories, their challenges, and their approach to unknown territories. We hope you enjoy. 3D People, The Way We Work is a podcast about the people in the 3D printing industry. In this episode, the spotlight is on my colleagues and a valuable report that we created about the talent market in the additive manufacturing industry. My name is Julia Opria, and I'm the host of the podcast at Alexander Daniels Global. I would like to start now with a quick round of introduction before we dive deeper into today's subject.
Yeah, so hello everybody. My name is Sine and I am the marketing manager for Alexander Daniels Global.
I'm Nick Pearce. I'm the CEO and director for Alexander Daniels Global.
Hi, I'm Loxley Graham and I'm the principal consultant for talent acquisition here at Alexander Daniels Global.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So, Sine, I would like to start with you. I have a question for you. So we're here to talk about the talent market white paper, which has just been released in its second edition. Can you tell us what the white paper is and how it came into existence?
Yeah, so the talent market white paper is an in-depth analysis of the trends that there are in the industry within talent. So it talks about the key hiring trends, the skills in demand, jobs in demand, and basically gives a thorough overview of what the talent landscape looks like on a global level, and then also split into more regional hubs. And the reason that we started writing this was because last year was the first edition. Last year, we found that from the salary survey that we do every year, there was sort of a lacking in information in terms of how deep we go into the skills needed and how deeply we go into what the talent landscape looks like apart from just salaries. So we wanted to help the market and the industry out by releasing this knowledge that we're sitting on.
Okay. And Nick, what do you think is the real purpose of the talent market white paper?
I think at its core, the fundamental purpose of the talent market white paper is to help organizations make decisions, fundamental decisions that affect how they hire talent, but maybe even much bigger decisions about where they might want to base their operations globally. The talent market white paper provides a lot of insight and analysis around, hotspots in the global market for additive manufacturing, where it might be easier or harder, depending on your perspective, to set up a new facility or to recruit staff. So I think ultimately the purpose of the white paper for the users is to help them with their decision making, but at a very simple level, provide insight and analysis that can help guide them.
Mm-hmm. And who should read this white paper? Who's it really made for?
So I think in terms of the type of organization, it really could be, any organization within the additive manufacturing value chain. But let's look at a couple of perhaps specific examples of people who might want to read the talent market white paper. Let's imagine you're an HR manager or a head of recruitment, within an organization who are looking to enter the additive manufacturing industry. You might have been given a mandate to, go out and recruit a team or recruit some people, and you really don't know where to start and you don't understand, the landscape for talent in additive manufacturing. Well, the talent market white paper is a really comprehensive report that for that HR manager would be an invaluable tool in their armory in deciding the best means by which to, access and recruit talent. So I think in that sense, that's one type of person. But I think you could be in a big organization already in additive manufacturing, in HR. And again, the talent market white paper is going to give you a lot of in-depth analysis. You might know or feel some of the pains and pressures, but might not know why you feel those pains and pressures. And the talent market white paper is going to answer some of those really invaluable questions that as an HR manager within an organization, you've probably been asking yourself, like, why can I not recruit application engineers, for example? Why is it so difficult to recruit in this part of the US? Those sorts of questions are answered by the talent market white paper. But then, broader speaking, you might be an organization looking to expand your facilities or set up a new AM department. And, the talent market white paper would be invaluable to an organization like that in helping to understand, well, there are certain area you might want to set up your facility in because it's a talent hotspot, or maybe you don't want to set your facility up in this area because there's already a lot of competition for talent there. So, I think to organizations like that, this can support perhaps some broader business decisions that they're looking to make at the same time. So, yeah, I think those are probably, some of the sorts of people that might benefit from the white paper.
Awesome. Thank you. And I have the report here in front of me, and there are basically 3 main sections. I would be curious, in your opinion, one of the sections is the hiring toolbox. Why do you think this is an important part in the talent market white paper?
Yeah, I think this sort of speaks to what I alluded to earlier. If you're an HR manager, either currently within the industry or outside of the industry, and looking to sort of step in, what the toolbox offers is, invaluable insights into what a talent really looking for when considering their careers in additive manufacturing. So what are the buttons that you need to press in order to engage talent and attract them to your organization? How can you go about trying to identify the right talent for your organization as well? So I think it offers all of those really useful tips and insights that are going to make it a lot easier for you to build your team, basically. So I think it's really critical if you are looking to build a team or grow a team within additive, that you understand these things, and the toolbox offers that.
Mm-hmm. And what I really like about the white paper is that it gives an in-depth analysis of the talent market in each of the major additive hubs globally, basically. Sine, why did you break it up into these regions?
Yeah, so we've broken it up into the 6 different, the 6 biggest HubSpots in AM. And the reason we did this was to give more of an in-depth of the trends, the hiring trends, the trends and skills. And as Nick said, what the competition is, because these are the major hubs, but there are big differences in terms of what skills are required, what challenges companies are facing. So we want to give the major hubs a bit more focus.
Mm-hmm. And we're also talking about the most in-demand roles globally, which I personally think is extremely valuable. But Nick, how did we come to these conclusions?
So we've been now researching additive manufacturing for 5 years. So, we have a lot of data that we've collected. We've recruited over 100 people in the last 5 years. So we know what customers are hiring. We also analyze the jobs that are being advertised globally. So for us, what we do is we collect that kind of data, both quantitative data that we look at, every week, with qualitative data that we have from the experience of, recruiting in additive manufacturing for the last, 4 years. So, to that extent, we're able to bring that to the report and really highlight what are the key roles that are being recruited right now in additive manufacturing and what the challenges are.
Mm-hmm. Loxley, can you give us a little teaser? Can you mention one of the most in-demand roles?
Yeah, of course. So maybe one of the insights into the paper that I think will be really interesting to a lot of people, and a little sneak peek there for the viewers and listeners today, would be one of the most in-demand skills that we've identified for the next year would be process engineers and people specialised in process engineering.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think this one is
Well,
most in demand?
Right now, though, additive manufacturing really has reached a point of maturity in terms of the hardware. We're seeing a lot of innovation still happening around the material and around the software as well. But the hardware, to an extent, is reaching its sort of maximum in terms of its maturity. So the industry, though, still faces a major issue as it moves more into serial production, which would be that the lack of consistency, though, coming out of these machines. And so one thing that we have found, and one of the real demands that we're seeing now from our clients, are people who are able to improve the process, they're able to get rid of some of those issues and ultimately can move the hardware now getting closer to achieving consistency across prints, and so moving the technology then to be able to be used for serial production. So a lot of our clients now are starting to demand people of this background who understand getting and solving these issues there within a process, and we definitely see a bigger demand for those people going into 2020.
Mm-hmm. So the content of the talent market white paper is very unique. But Nick, we talked about the businesses and who should read it. What do you think? How do you think the industry could benefit from reading these insights?
Yeah, I think the industry could benefit from this in one way in particular, which is there is and will remain a skills shortage within additive manufacturing for the next 3 to 5 years. We see the demand for talent continuing to grow. We see areas in particular where there is a real lack of talent, and the demand in those areas isn't going away, but the supply of that talent really isn't coming forward. So I think what the industry really needs to think about and get right is, well, how do we inspire and engage future generations of talent to come into the industry? How do we equip them with the skills and knowledge they need then to make an impact? And, how do we guide them towards the right organizations and opportunities in which they can make that impact? So I think that's one way that the industry really needs to take notice of what is said within the talent market white paper, and collectively come together to build the workforce it needs to really go beyond its current state into this future digital manufacturing world, where there are endless possibilities really.
Mm-hmm. So in this white paper, we're actually talking about a war for the right talent and the consequences of this war. Why is this really, really, really important for additive manufacturing companies to understand?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
That question?
Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah, I think that war is a very strong word, but I think people need to understand the gravity really of the situation. Without naming names, I speak to companies whose ambition is to 5x the industry. They're not interested in taking market share, in an industry that exists right now. Instead, they want to take market share from injection molding, and they really want to play a part in that, multi-trillion-dollar a year, manufacturing industry with additive as a serial production technology. So, why is there a war for talent, and why is that so important for companies to understand? Is that, unless we address that problem, we will not achieve the ambitions of many companies in this sector, which is really, not just about taking market share, but fundamentally growing, the opportunity that additive has. So I think that's the key message really, that, unless we do something to address the sort of talent shortage and skills gap, and unless we firstly understand where that shortage arises, we can't then put in place the sort of building blocks to create the workforce of the future that really is going to help additive manufacturing step beyond the current paradigm and into, a true digital manufacturing production technology.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for your insight. Sine, how can someone obtain the talent market white paper?
Yeah, so the talent market white paper will be available on our website. So we will be sure to include a link in the description of this podcast so that anybody who wants can go in and get it.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Julia. Bye-bye.